Good morning, everyone. Today we'll have a nice workout for the core, along with some stretches. So roll out your mats, and let's start by taking a few deep breaths in and out. So start by gently pulling your neck. Stretch it to one side. Take a few deep breaths here. And then let's switch to the other side. Feel free to stretch out your opposite arm and reach out with your fingers onto your mat. And now, to get rid of any tension in your neck, just take a few rolls around. Just be gentle, don't overstretch it. Now let's move on to our cat-cow poses. So stand on all fours, take a deep breath, and let's do a cat pose. Then as you breathe out, move on to a cow pose. So in the cat pose, make sure you stretch not through your lower back, but through your upper back. And in your cow pose, try and maintain your arms perpendicular to the floor so they don't move back. And keep that pressure on your arms, so push forward slightly. Now let's move on to our first downward dog pose. Start by gently walking out your feet to take out any tension in your legs. And then when you're ready, press down with both of your feet to the floor. Feel free to keep your knees a little bit bent. Keep your tailbone high. Now let's hop forward and move on to our Gomukhasana pose. So put your right leg on top of your left. Make sure you're sitting on your bottom. Take out your right arm and put it behind your back along with your left. And try to interlace the fingers behind. But if you can't, just keep them on your back as far as possible as you can. Make sure you don't overstretch your lower back, so try and keep it straight. Now let's switch legs and arms. So first, walk it out a little bit, compensate with your downward dog. Then let's switch. So now we have our left leg on top of our right, and our left arm at the top, and the right arm at the bottom. Make sure to keep your back straight, and just stay here for a few deep breaths. Remember to breathe with your stomach. And now release. And let's compensate with a few rounds of vinyasa. So take a breath in and out. Then come up. So take a deep breath, arms up. Then down. Look up. Then walk back or hop back. Then chaturanga. Upward facing dog, then downward facing dog. So here we have one breath per movement. Try and move along with your breath. And now let's move on to our camel pose. So this is a deep backward bend from a kneeling position. So go on your knees. And then first of all, put your hands on your lower back and try and move down a few times and come back up, just to find that momentum in your lower back. Now be careful, don't overstretch your lower back, and put your hands down onto your heels or flat on the floor if you can. For a slightly easier variation, feel free to tuck your toes under and come back up. So now let's compensate for this tricky pose. Keep your knees together and your heels apart, sit in between your heels, then bend your back inwards and then take your knees to your chest while balancing on your arms and your toes. Try and bend your back outwards as much as possible. And then release. And now let's move on to our leg stretches. So keep your left leg where it was. Take your right leg, bring it to your chest, then pull it up if you can. If not, keep it bent. And try and straighten out your back and sit up straight. And for a deeper stretch, feel free to pull it closer to you. Maybe take your arms a bit further and interlock them. Now let's switch sides. So same thing. Sit up straight, bring your knee to your chest, and then with control, bring your leg all the way up. Make sure to keep your upper back straight and your shoulders straight. Keep your eyes on your toes. Now let's move to our side stretches. So bend down your left knee, keep your right leg straight. So try and reach your right toes with your left arm by bending sideways. Keep your right arm on the floor or on your left leg. Or put your right arm behind your back. Now let's switch sides. Same thing. This is a really good stretch for the sides of your body. Try and reach your toe, but if you can't, it's okay. Just stop wherever you can and take a few deep breaths there. Now let's come back up and let's stretch in the middle. So stretch out your legs. Put your hands on your toes, and with your straight back and with control, move down to the mat. Try and stretch out with your chest and your chin first, and then perhaps if you reach the floor, and only if you reach it, then feel free to put your forehead down. But try and keep your back as straight as possible. Or if you can, put your chin on the floor. And now let's come back up. And move on to our downward facing dog. Just to stretch everything out. Take any tension out of our body. And now let's move on to our pigeon pose. So bring your right knee in front of you. It should line up directly with your hip, but the shin does not need to be parallel. So first lengthen through your spine, and then bring your shoulders down wherever it's comfortable, and try and relax here. Keep your tailbone extended. Now let's come up, tuck your knee, and then swing your left arm behind you and try and reach to your toes. So this is a really, really deep stretch for your quads, for your knee. Bring your right arm up if you can, or interlock it with your left arm. Now let's switch to the other side, through the downward facing dog. Bring your left knee in front of you, tuck your tailbone in, and let's come down for a few moments. Try and relax here before a difficult stretch. Now bend your right knee as you come back up. And now reach out your right arm and interlock it with your toes. And if you can, bring your toes further onto your elbow. Reach out your left arm to the sky, then bring it to your right arm and interlock it together. Now release with control, and let's move back to our downward facing dog pose. Now come to the front, or hop to the front. Stretch out your legs, breathe in, put your arms up, and as you breathe out with control, stretch forward. Keep your back straight. Take a few deep breaths here. If you can, interlock your hands in front of your feet. Now put your hands just above your knees and try and lift your bottom up and now your front up. Just do this a few times, and then when you're ready, bring your arms a little bit more to the front and then try and lift your whole body up. Now release, and let's come down on our back. Bring both of your feet up, then interlock them. Put your right foot on top of your left and move it to the left side while stretching out your right arm to the other side. This is a really nice stretch for your back. Feel free to keep your left arm on your right knee, and with every breath try and push yourself a little bit further. Now let's switch to our other side, so left leg in front of your right and stretch to the opposite side. Face away from your legs for a deeper stretch. And finally, let's relax and move on to our Savasana pose. So take a few deep breaths and relax. Try and think of a few things you are thankful for today. Analyze how your body feels after this workout. Feel the muscle tension in different parts of your body and try and release it with each breath you take. So feel free to stay here for as long as you need. And when you're ready, bend your knees. Let's move to your right side and take a few breaths there before you come back up. So now cross your legs and let's take a few final breaths just before we finish. Breathe in and out. Thank you so much for today. I hope to see you soon.